Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Hot Mic Show. I'm your host, Maven, where I'm joined by some of the top players from the Call of Duty World League. We're here for the Pro League Week 7. We're fresh off Atlanta, and our gigantic analysis desk is still being transferred from Atlanta. So we have a smaller desk, but we're going to have some fun. So we'll have 3 guests this weekend. Let's introduce them one by one. To my left, first up, Silly of eUnited. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited for an episode of Hot Mic. Thanks for coming on. How you feeling? Just after Atlanta, obviously there was some turmoil, which we'll jump more into, but how you feeling coming out of the event?
Honestly, not bad at all. Placing top 6, I think that's good enough for us to get some momentum going into the league. Hopefully, qualify for playoffs. We do well.
Okay, all right. Well, excited to talk about it more. And again, we'll talk about your run through Atlanta, as there's a couple different storylines we can chat about. Next up, Temp from Envy. You guys finally start looking solid this weekend. What are your thoughts about Atlanta for you guys?
Wanted to do better. 4th is not that good for us, in my opinion. I feel like it's good that we know that we're close to winning at least.
And it's better than top 12.
It's better than top 12, a lot better than top 12. So, yeah, it feels good to get some sort of momentum under our belt going into the league. Just try to get #1 seed in our group.
All right, man. Well, we've got 2 weeks of action here to do that. And then currently the #1 seed in Division B and coming off a 3rd place finish in Atlanta. Slacked, you are replacing Nameless because he had some travel issues. Thank you so much for coming on the show last minute. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. I'm ready to be here and ready to play this weekend.
Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. So let's start with our CWL debrief. Basically, this is where we're gonna kind of chat Atlanta, go through placings, go through some of the different scenarios that happened over the course of the event. Let's first off take a look at kind of our top 8 standings. We can see how everything broke down. You'll see at the top Rise Nation with first, and kind of can go through the list and chat about it a little bit. So, Silly, we're gonna dive a little bit more into things down the road, with kind of some stuff that went down on social media with Clayster and everything. But I do just want to talk about you guys placing 5th, 6th after some of the turmoil that you dealt with. You said kind of at the beginning of the show that it felt pretty good to get there. What did you think maybe after Friday? Like, did you think 5th, 6th was even possible?
Honestly, after Friday, we were probably expecting top 20, but I definitely think that took some of the pressure off of us to perform. We're kind of just chilling, laughing about it, and I think it ended up helping us in the long run.
It's like the only way to take it, right? It's like, okay, we've reached this spot. All we can do is try to have some fun, but ultimately, you do end up getting the top 6, and then ultimately knocking you guys out was Envy, correct?
Yeah.
Temp. Well, let's talk Envy a little bit then for the top 4. So obviously you come off top 12. I know that when the game first came out and I saw this roster come together, I thought you guys were going to be contenders throughout the course of the year. I was positive just because of the talent on the roster. Obviously it didn't start that way. You started to find your form in the first 2 weeks of Division B, and then finally it seems things are starting to come together. I guess I want to hear what started to click maybe.
Well, Kyler played Halo 5 for 3 years or 2 years, however long it was. So I think during our first 2 weeks of the league, Kyler started playing a lot better, a lot better, and that's kind of really what helped us. Austin's been playing good throughout this whole year. He's probably one of the best players in the game. I've been playing pretty good. I still have another level I can hit, but I've been performing the whole time too. So just having Kyler step up, it really helped our team. And at Atlanta, Classic played really, really good too.
What do you think changed for Classic? I know when he said the patch happened where the ADS changed and some other changes to the game, and he tweeted out and basically said, "Oh, thank God, my career is saved." And at the time, I thought he was kidding. I was like, "What are you talking? It can't be that big of a difference." But he was frying for the most part this weekend.
It wasn't the patch. He was just trolling. He just needed some extra fire, I guess. I mean, he got smoked the first 2 events, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think you guys have seen your ceiling yet, individually as players, or what you can do as a team. Slack, you're up next, buddy. 3rd place finish. You're coming off of the 2nd place at New Orleans. I guess I want to talk a little bit about, like, statistically. Okay, I didn't look at the full stats at the end of everything, but I know at least some of the series I watched, it was like, typically a lot of times in the Pro League, it was sort of the Octane and John show from a slang standpoint. John did not have a very good event. You and Jacob had to absolutely step it up. What was going on? Was there a difference in play style at all, or was it just John not having his best event? What kind of happened there for LG?
He definitely, like you said, didn't have his best event. We still ended up getting 3rd place, so right there we really can't complain. We beat some of the teams that we lost to at the last event, and then we ended up falling short in winners finals, which I think we're just cursed there at this point. We always play them so tight. We played TK really tight at NOLA, played Rise really, really close here. just kind of pull through. And I'm disappointed with our finish, but like I said, if he plays a good event, I think we easily walk through it.
I think I saw something that said he had like a 0.8, which is not John. I mean, I can't think of the last time he had a tournament like that.
It's not going to happen again.
I mean, if we're getting third with him dropping a 0.8, I mean, what are we going to do when he's dropping even a 1?
That's true.
So.
I mean, you certainly think he's going to turn it around. I'm sure he's pretty frustrated with how the weekend went. But still, third place is a strong finish, but I know you guys think you can do better. All right, so I want to talk through some of the other teams, mostly like notable finishes. So Team Caliber, they obviously win the first 2 events. They have the home crowd now at Atlanta. People are thinking maybe this could be the three-peat. They end up placing top 8. I guess from you guys, what do you think happened? What went wrong with this Team Caliber squad here this weekend that they weren't able to at least push a little bit deeper than top 8?
I honestly think it just comes down to the clutch factor. Like, they've had so many grinder series where they barely pull out the win, and I just think for once it didn't go their way.
Well, I think Kenny at one point after the loss, I think tweeted out like, "Hey, the clutch factor's gone."
Yeah.
If I was a teammate, I'd be like, "Why would you tweet that?" You never want that to come out. But they do lose a couple of game 5s, I believe. Temp, what for you maybe stood out with big reason Team Caliber got top 8?
Personally, I just think teams caught up. Like, looking at other teams, like they won the first 2 events, I think they just knew how to play so much better than every other team, except for LG. At NOLA, LG knew how to play. TK actually just clutched up that event. But I think teams just caught up, and if you look at the rosters of these other teams, they have more talented players. Maybe not better players, but they have more talented players. And if there's a more talented player who catches up, they're gonna outplay TK. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what I think happened.
And that's the reason I, sort of said the things I did on a trading shot episode. It wasn't even like a bias or trying to take a shot at the guys. I thought people would catch up. I've been casting accuracy for 5 years. No one can convince me that suddenly accuracy is the most skilled player in the game. It's just, and that's not a knock to him at all. It's just he was putting up some of the best stats of his entire career. I thought eventually people would catch up a little bit, and it seems to be that's part of the case. Slack, for you, anything to add on top of that, or kind of agree with the sentiment from the other two?
I agree with what Temp was saying a whole lot, and I also think the way the map veto system now actually doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Do you mind kind of breaking that? I saw you tweeting about it a little bit yesterday or a day before.
So basically now the way the veto system is it used to be just a ban, and then you would have to force to play the other 2 maps. Now there's a map pool of 5 maps, so you ban, and then pick from those 3 maps that remain. So basically you can force a team to play a map they're not really comfortable on because they can only eliminate, for instance, you have Gibraltar and Forest Hardpoint. Both of those are AR maps. You can only get rid of one of them. You can force a submachine gun team like EnVy, for instance. They have 3 submachine gun players, I'd say, but you could force them to play Gibraltar or Forest because their main van is usually Forest. So
gotcha.
then we can force them to play that. Then they're going to force us to play a submachine gun map, and it's like that's I think what the biggest problem with TK is now is they have 2 main AR players, you'd say, and then you're forcing Chino or accuracy based on the map really to pull out a sub, and I think that is a big problem now with most of the teams, and I think that's why Rise was so good at the last event is they are so comfortable with, I'd say, 4 of the 5 hardpoint maps that they can just veto their one and they don't care what they play after that.
Well, Looney on the last hot mic, he said gunless is probably the most important part of the team, just because that flex position, and that's what's interesting about TK. For most squads, that flex guy is kind of the same on each map, right? Like whoever's going to be swapping between the second AR or the third sub usually is pretty constant. But TK, I know they swap around a little bit. Like if it's London Doxing, Chino runs the sub. If it's St. Marie hardpoint, accuracy pulls out the sub. So you got to think that someone's not fully comfortable in that role if it's changing per map, at least.
Pierce is 100% the reason why Rise is so good. He's the best flex player from going from a fast sub to a slow AR and being able to slow down, and that's what Cap told me. He was like, that's my biggest problem. Going from Forest hardpoint to a Valkyrie hardpoint or St. Marie, he's like, I have to play really fast with that, and then on Forest I have to completely slow down. He's like, that's my biggest problem, and that's why Pierce, and I think Rise is so good right now.
Interesting. Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. It certainly does, but I'd like to break it down the veto system because I mean, that's something sometimes you're a fan, maybe you don't really think about is how much it can change just by adding Valkyrie to it. But let's keep going. So next team we're going to talk about is going to be OpTic. Obviously, in the past, when OpTic would make it to, basically when they would make it past round 1 of winners and they would make it to Sunday, they were winning events. Temp, they go 0-6. What is going wrong with OpTic right now?
I honestly don't know. I think to be honest, they probably just don't know how to play. Not many teams know how to play, and because there's no way that those players should be placed in 6 realistically. So it has to be they don't know how to play. Matt, he was, in my opinion, the best AR for the past 3 years, and he's running a sub. Why? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's changing now, right?
Yeah, it's changing, but like you just wasted like 3 events with the best AR for the past 3 years running a sub. And I say, in my opinion, if you ran a sub in Ghost, that doesn't count. That's a fake sub. The Vector is not a sub. The Vector is a do-it-all, kill cross map, up close, everything. That's not a sub.
No, it's true.
Like Slasher ran a sub in Ghost. If you saw him with a PPSH in this game, like, sure, he might be decent with it, but he's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have your best AR for 3 years switch to a sub.
Well, I think it was partially, you know, back when the FG42 was the main AR, I think probably if I was Formal, I was comfortable with Crim doing it. He was destroying with that, but now that's gone towards the STG meta, I guess I'm not shocked to see that Formal probably wants to get back to the AR. Like, I guess that's what would enter my head, guys. We're winning just about every event when I was the best AR in the game. Let's get back to that. And we'll see if that solves things. Silly though, for anything maybe different that stands out for you. Maybe OpTic struggles on Sunday.
I honestly have no idea. I haven't played them this game one time.
Oh well,
so I have no clue.
All right, well, we'll move on from that. So they haven't played.
I can add one more thing to
okay,
that too.
all right.
Because Silly had nothing to say.
Yeah.
In this game, I feel like your subs are so much more impactful than your AR. So who would you trust making a smarter play, Crim or Formal? Crim, the guy who's been best player in Call of Duty history, would you want him making a smarter play to win you the game, or Formal?
No,
all Formal will have to do with Crim making smart plays is just pre him and get his kills, and he'll do that at a high rate.
Yeah, and I think, like, honestly, for me, it's like it doesn't really matter to me whether it's boots on the ground, jetpack, COD. Like, if you're the AR, you're that last man.
Yeah.
You're the guy that needs to clean up the mess and not be in positions where you're dying and like losing spawns. Like, I don't think it's all that different from something like IW. I mean, yes, it is, but like the AR role is still kind of similar.
Well, I think submachine guns are the most important role in this game. I think they influence the spawns. They make everything easier on your AR player. So I think with Formal running that AR, I would put, if I was on a team or coaching it, I would put Karma as the flex player, have Crim run a full-time sub with Seth, let them, do some duo work, and then have Damon be in his comfortable, flex role and have Formal.
That's why we got, Ben and I kind of debated on trading shots. I think that went live, yesterday, the day before, but we talked about, do they need to make a team change? We were like, no, I don't think so. They just need to make a role change. They just need to figure out, because something seems to be a little bit messy with their roles. But let's keep moving on. All right, next up is going to be Red Reserve. I want to talk about this team. Obviously, LG dropped to him, Envy dropped to him. They went on a damn tear.
You did beat him once.
That's true. You almost reverse sweeped him twice. But we'll start with you, Silly, since you had absolutely nothing to add in the last topic. This Red Reserve team in the losers bracket run they made, I mean, that's got to be the best or amongst the best losers bracket run in the history of COD, right?
Yeah, 100%. I tweeted out the list of teams they beat, and they kind of beat they beat TK as well. I'm pretty sure they knocked out like every single good team along the way, and I think most of them were like 3-0, 3-1, other than like Envy. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, they were
impressive. I mean, you can't say anything about it. That was like probably one of the best runs ever.
Well, I tweeted out and said that this was the first time ever a team has dropped into losers bracket from pool play and then made it all the way to a grand final. It turns out I was incorrect. It happened one time. It's funny because I was sitting next to Ray, who was there, and Rambo was like, no, we did that in Black Ops 1. And I was like, I'll be honest, I didn't look that far back, but I guess the OpTic squad did it one time. But I don't think it was against the competition that...
We're not counting that.
Yeah,
this is the best loser bracket run.
Oh, it has to be. It has to be. What do you think... Well, I want to hear from both of you, but like, what was working for Red? I mean, you guys obviously both fell to them. Did you feel that was something you guys were doing wrong, or more Red was just on a heater?
Honestly, I think they were playing really well. I mean, they had a lot of momentum going into it, but again, I think for us, we struggle against them matchup-wise because of the map veto system. We played them at NOLA. We had certain maps we played against them. We forced them to play maps. We win 3-0. We play them here. They catch us on 2 of our off maps on the first 2 maps of the series because of our poor veto choices. St. Marie's our worst map in the game, 100%. We follow that. We play St. Marie's Search. They're really good at that. And it's just, we caught ourselves down 0-2, and it's just a little too late. I mean, they were playing well, and it is what it is.
That's interesting to hear how important, the vetoes actually are. I mean, personally, I like it with the way it is now. I mean, it seems like you can punish teams a little bit more, especially if you don't have a flex player like Gunless.
100%. I mean, if you're not good at 4 of the 5 hard points, you're going to get punished in some way. If you're only good at 3 of the maps, you're toast.
Okay. Temp, what about for you? What do you think was, I guess, kind of clicking for that Red team?
Well, from my point of view, it was more of us.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. So what do you think went wrong with you guys again?
The first hard point, we lost by 20 points or something. We were just making so many bad plays, and we kept it close. We're just making way too many bad plays. S&D, I forgot, was the second map, was it Valkyrie Search? Or no, it was
Valkyrie
London
Valkyrie was your map 2, and pool play, it was map 5. And
okay, so it was London Search, then the second map. we were just choking S&Ds the whole time. Valkyrie, game 5, I lost like 2 1-on-1s. We lost like 4 1-on-1s game 5.
The one where Slasher almost. Oh no, I'm thinking of the Rise series. Never
We
mind.
lost like 4 1-on-1s game 5. That sucked. The CTF, we smoked them like 7-1. We were like, okay, these guys are gonna choke. We smoked. I won like 29-13. The hardpoint, Austin had like a crazy map, like 47-20. So like those 2 maps, we just like pretty much blew them out. We just like choked. We just choked all the other 3 maps.
So what happened? I know you and I talked about this a little bit before we went live, but we mentioned or talked about the fact that you kind of got to Sunday because you're search and destroy play.
Yeah.
You were playing well in search, and then I think you mentioned you went 0-5 in search on Sunday. What changed?
Off top, I don't really know. I haven't rewatched the series, to be honest. One thing that I know for sure is that on Friday in pool play, I definitely was playing pretty good in search. I definitely wasn't playing good in search in the later matches. So I don't know if I made that big of a difference, but that's just one thing that I know off top, that I definitely played worse in search on Sunday.
Well, something to think about going forward as you guys continue to work on stuff. All right, let's talk about the last team we're going to touch on kind of here, and that's going to be your champs, Rise Nation. For me, they look kind of unstoppable. I know they had a very close series versus you guys, but there was not one point this weekend where I thought they were going to lose a series because they were just cruising through so many people. You know, we talked a little bit about Gunless, but outside of maybe that, Silly, for you, like what makes this team kind of special right now and the reason they were able to kind of tear through everybody?
I mean, I think when you guys made the point before, they just have, they have 3 people that are super comfortable in the sub role, and also their flex player is comfortable doing either. So, I mean, especially in respawns, they really shine on just having 3 players that can literally do anything.
Yeah, and it certainly, I mean, it shows in every map. You didn't really see too big of a weakness from them. At least it felt like from a map pool. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Methods winning MVP. Did you think it was well-deserved, or did you think maybe there was somebody else that should have taken it?
Absolutely not. Methods is a good player, but if we're going based off that event, in my opinion, it goes Gunless, Looney, Methods, TJ in terms of skill and how they performed throughout the weekend. I think Pierce was by far the best player and the most impactful player at that tournament, and for him not to get it was mind-blowing to me.
You feeling the same way?
Yeah, realistically, I mean, the main 8, like 95% of it, like I feel like there's only like 3 subs who are like 2 that could win MVP. Like Zuma, if Phase 1, Zuma would win it. If OpTic won, maybe Scump has a chance. That's pretty much it. Other than that, it's gonna be Octane, Slasher, like Clayster, whatever. Like,
well, statistically, they're usually the ones.
They're just
that
gonna have crazy
numbers.
stats. Yeah. So, like Kenny should have won MVP. He didn't win. Gunless should have won MVP. He didn't win. They're using subs. They're gonna have weird stats, whatever.
No, it's interesting. It's cool.
Gunless is 100% their best player. I think TJ is normally their second best, but I think he didn't play that. I think he played.
Well, his search was actually really poor. From Sunday, I think he picked it up, but I can't remember what series was it going into. It might have been the grand final or maybe the winners bracket final, but he had like a 0.6 and 0.67, something like that in search, and I was like, what in the hell?
I think Danny was their second best player this weekend, and then probably Methods or Tej.
Yeah.
So I think Danny or Pierce should have won it, of course.
Okay. We know Looney was battling through sickness. I don't know how severe it was, but I heard he was. I didn't talk about it on broadcast, but I don't mind saying it here. I mean, I heard he was vomiting right before a series and like had to sprint up to the stage, not feeling well at all, and it worked for him somehow. I mean, stat-wise, he was doing well. All right, let's keep moving on. Next up, we got Pro League declassified. We're going to talk a little bit now about the Pro League, kind of shift focus off Atlanta. We have a couple topics later where we might talk Atlanta a little bit more, but let's talk Division B for a bit. So let's take out the standings. It feels like it's been so long since you guys have been here. Because I mean, we had Division A came back in, then we had Atlanta. There was the Toronto event. There was a lot of stuff going on, but Luminosity and EnVy there at the top, and then eUnited. Yeah, Silly, you're looking for some redemption, buddy.
Of course.
So what we talked about a bit, but like, what do you need to do, man, to kind of get back in the swing of things? I think you said to me on an elevator, you need to go. You feel like you need to go like 5-2.
At least 5-2. Honestly, we have someone else helping us with our game modes and everything. Our hardpoint definitely got a lot better. We're actually winning search and destroys, and I feel like we definitely won't be getting 3-0'd by anybody this set of 2 weeks like we were at the last one.
Yeah, well, hopefully, like you said, Atlanta will provide a little bit of. I don't know.
My team made a terrible play in that round.
Yeah,
Terrible play. They just doubled out mid-cut in the 2v1.
Oh, actually, I kind of remember that round and being like, that wasn't right. Well, let's take we're going to talk through a couple topics here from it, but let's take a look at the schedule real quick just for this week, and maybe we can highlight some of the big matches that we're going to be having. So here's the schedule kicking off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The Pro League bumped back a day just due to the travel back from Atlanta. So are there any, just leave this up for a moment here if you don't mind on the production side, because I just want to, Wednesday, any matches that really stand out to you guys that are going to be huge here for Division B?
I guess eUnited need to win that. If they win that, they can go on a run.
Well, welcome back to Division B. You start with Luminosity.
That's I mean, that's a huge match for a momentum shift. You know, especially playing Envy the next day.
Actually, wait, Splice and UniLad's a big match too.
Oh yeah.
Well, because they're both 3 and 4, correct? Yeah. So that'll be huge. And then Thursday? Every eUnited match is big. Honestly, I don't even know why we're having this conversation, because with this group right now, with
every single match is big.
Exactly, every single match is
except for Epsilon. Their matches aren't big. That's everyone else's.
Yeah, EG, UniLad, and eUnited. I mean, they all need to win their matches.
Yeah, it's actually absurd how tight everything is. I mean, honestly, the only team I wouldn't say LG and EnVy are even safe. Granted, the way you guys are playing, it's hard to imagine you're not going to be coming out, but anything could happen. The only thing that can't happen is Epsilon do anything.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Yeah. We got a bye week, so we at least got 7-1.
That's true.
Just add that as a free win, so we just need to win like one more match.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, let's keep it going. I guess I want to have you guys pick, and I am pulling up this card for myself, so I remember exactly who's where. But I just want you each to pick who you think's getting top 4, and then the order you think it's going to go down. Slack, we'll start with you.
I think top 4 is probably sticking where it's at.
Really? Okay.
Splice continues to play well. I mean, they only have to win a few matches to really stay there, and eUnited has to beat, I'd say, us, FaZe, Envy. They need to beat at least 2 of the 3. I don't know. I don't know if they have it in them. They got to really catch a high roll.
Yeah, they'd have to.
Right in the beginning of the week, and if they do, they could definitely do it, but I don't know. I don't see it changing too much, honestly.
Donnie, you think anything changes? So right now it's LG, Envy, FaZe, Splice. Do you think someone of EG, UniLad, eUnited kind of makes some noise and maybe knocks one of them out of the top 4?
This would be way easier to answer after tomorrow. I think if eUnited beat LG tomorrow, then they can make it for sure. They're not going to make it to 3rd. They can make it to 4. I think the top 3 is 100% locked.
Okay.
But like just depending on tomorrow, I feel like those first couple of matches are going to be huge for those teams. So, but as of right now, I'd probably say Splice.
Probably Splice. Okay. I mean, I think I know your answers.
Yeah, exactly. We want to take that 4th spot. It really just comes down to us beating like the juggernaut teams in our group, and we beat like you said, we beat LG tomorrow. That's a good start for us, and we'll be on a good road to.
I think if they beat LG tomorrow, they're in. They're gonna make it in.
I mean, I hope that you do, just for the pure sense of I want to. It came down to the end of Division A. There was like one circumstance that would have made it super interesting the final day. I think it was that Echo Fox Red series, the TK. I don't remember exactly how it broke down, but.
Echo Fox Red.
Yes. So if one had won, it would have made it like the craziest final day ever. So I'm hoping LG lose and you win and we have some chaos. Yeah. So sorry.
So will that happen? Yeah, probably not.
All right. I guess I want to also talk then. Who do you think's going to get relegated then? Okay, let's just say Epsilon's getting relegated. Yeah. Who do you think will be the other team?
I heard there's some issues with UniLad and some stuff. So I don't really see them. They were playing pretty well week 1 or 2.
They were playing, dude. Didn't they outplay Splice at? Didn't they get top 12 and Splice got top 16, or did they place both top 16?
No, the only top 12 European team was Red. So I believe they were both.
They both placed the same then.
Splice might have been top 16. UniLad might have been worse than that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see Splice's run at all, but I did see them first match take Rise Game 5.
Yeah.
They're not a terrible team, right? They have the players.
Is a good team.
They could be really good. That's why I don't see them falling out of the top 4. I think them being back here will help them.
Well, what do you like? Yeah, I know. I didn't see all their matches either. Like, I kind of want to try and figure out what the hell's going wrong with this team, but I don't know. I didn't get to see enough of their matches at the event, to be honest with you.
They don't really have like a 3rd sub. Like, who's there? Does Mad Cat run a sub for them? I don't know.
Mad Cat's some NAR. Mad Cat's some NAR.
Tommy runs a sub?
He's their 3rd sub.
I saw him drop like 50 with an FG.
Yeah, I saw him do that.
So have Mad Cat. They need to try Mad Cat running a sub then. Because I just don't know who's their 3rd sub. They have Bance and Jared, who are probably some of the best subs in Europe ever.
I don't think have we seen that Bance this year?
No.
Maybe it's. No. I don't think Bance has been like that. That guy that you look to just be a lock to dominate every map.
Yeah, he hasn't been that good, but I still think he's really good, and I think he can easily get back to that level.
Well, I mean, he's obviously a very talented player, but I feel like I haven't thought of him in the conversation of like a top sub in this game. I haven't, and maybe I don't know if it's a stat thing or just a performance thing for them, but maybe that's what it is. They just need Vance to get back to that level, and they'll be all right. Okay, so what did we decide? It's gonna be Epsilon, and who else do we think's falling out? Oh, UniLad.
Probably UniLad. If they have, I think Shawnee's.
I'm going to United. I'm just kidding.
Oh my!
I think it'll probably be too. Well, what was it? Shawnee can't even like close his hand or something.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know exactly how bad
If
it is.
something about tendonitis, he like can't close his hand.
If he's fine, they could easily make
They
it
could
run,
easily
but
make
if
it
not, I don't know. I mean, that's
if your player's injured, I'm not thinking you're gonna make it
Yeah.
2 weeks
Yeah.
going like 5-2.
Probably not. But all right, let's talk about Division A teams to watch in playoffs. Not really to watch, I guess, but like how important is not getting fourth right now with the fact that you're probably going to face off against Rise. I mean, no one wanted to be fourth in Division A because they have to play most likely LG or NB. Yeah. Nobody wants to get fourth here. So what is it? It's Rise, OpTic, Red, TK.
Yeah.
I guess which team do you want to play the most out of that right now?
Like, who's the worst team?
Well, yeah. Who would you probably want to match up against the most?
I mean, if you go off placings, TK's probably the worst out of those right now. I think TK could still turn around and like make a run at playoffs or Birmingham, but they're probably the team you would want to play right now. And for us, I mean, we just beat them, so we're like, okay, we can beat them again.
So playoffs is what,
first
after
week of April.
Birmingham? Yeah, right after
Yeah.
Birmingham, right? So I guess what I'm wondering, like it's hard to say it right now with Red getting second, obviously, and OpTic getting top 6, but is there a conversation to be had? Like, who would you rather face, like OpTic or Red? And if you're thinking about being like 3-4 weeks from now with OpTic making changes,
I don't know, because normally OpTic's really, really, really good. But if I'd rather have played OpTic at the last event than Red. So like, I don't know what could happen. But if I had to go off recent results, I'd play OpTic in a heartbeat.
Okay. All right. Well, let's transition out of Division B and now go to our player intel segment. This is where we're going to get a little bit more personal. We'll have some fun, and we'll still talk COD a little bit. But let's start with Silly. All right. So this is where we're going to talk about. Obviously, Clay has had stuff going on in his personal life, gameplay-wise. I mean, his life's been kind of a tornado right now.
Yeah.
But he did break down a little bit, at least on social media, on, I can't remember if it was Friday and a Saturday. But this is, we're going to bring up a couple of the tweets that went through. So he started to tweet stuff that basically made you think, like, hey, we want to make a team change, or I want to make a team change. Let's take a look at a couple of them. So I think we have this one here. This was from Alec then, who said 3 hours, 1 sub, and a 3 sub meta. Reading Clay's tweets just says it all. So he was frustrated as well.
Yeah.
And you were just sitting there probably like, what the hell's
no,
right now?
exactly.
And then this one from Clayster was the one that's interesting. Roster's locked until Birmingham. Feel like I'm stuck in the worst spot I could possibly be in. Never once have I given up or lost faith, but I'm just I blurred over it. So, I mean, that was the tweet that I read. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
He does not feel very good on the team right now. What was that like? So we obviously know what it was like for Clay because he poured it all out on social media. But for you, sitting there and just being like what? I guess what was that like?
Yeah, the three of us were just after that. We're just kind of expecting like, well, we're gonna get world star this event, and then hopefully something changes between now and the league. We've all had our times of doing bad and doing good, different events. So we're all just super surprised that he just came out on social media and said that. It's not like any of us were thinking that. And it's just, we just kind of have role issues. Just like there's a couple other teams that have 2 main ARs, and it affects us in game, especially in respawn.
Well, was this something where like did he like apologize later? Like, guys, my bad.
Yeah, he definitely apologized later. He's got a lot going on. He probably felt a little
overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed, definitely.
Yeah. But did you think? Now we kind of talked. I think the three of us talked about it before this started. That it might have even helped you guys a little bit in the sense that you felt so much pressure. Division B, you fail in Toronto in the grand final. You come here, and obviously the pressure is just mounting and mounting and mounting as you guys continue to perform poorly. Did that breakdown in a way just be like, well, shit, gloves off, like whatever, let's just go out and play, have fun? Did it help in a way?
It definitely helped us. We were kind of expecting the worst at the event, so we're all just chilling, having fun, just playing our match one match at a time. And eventually, it helped us. A little less pressure. We weren't arguing with each other. We're kind of just playing, calling out, having fun, and it got us all the way to top 6. So hopefully we can do that here.
Well, I mean, when we went to that listen-in back in the Pro League, you guys were just having fun and goofing off. You were playing a lot better, so maybe that's what it is. Just try to find some fun. But all right, Temp, you're up next. You're gonna probably hate me for this. All right, so you guys went to the golf range. Top Golf. So first off, if you don't know what Top Golf is, a lot of fun. You can go have food, beverages, and hit golf balls at various spots. It's a blast. I've been with friends before. It's an absolute blast.
It was fun.
The first clip we have is from Nameless's Twitter, who is going to be on here. This is Saints Renato trying to swing a golf club. You had some words to say, but let's just roll the clip.
Just swing it, bro.
Oh my God, I was in tears, bro.
What do you need? Fixing me, look. Wait, did you even hit it?
So Slack and Temp are both there. Slack was trying to coach. You were roasting him at the end of it.
I didn't go at that point, yeah.
No, yeah, you're next.
Yeah, I'm next.
So then Temp, he takes his crack at it. Can we roll that again?
Bro, I was too big for this tiny ass poke. and then Nameless set me up. He told me not to bend. Look at my form. Like, how am I supposed to hit that? Wait, how am I supposed to hit that? I got set up. He said don't bend, and then Josiah comes out of nowhere. He's like, wait, you're not even bending a little bit?
Oh my God.
It was too short for you.
I got set up.
That was incredible, though. You look like Charles Barkley.
Yeah, I know. I got set up. I've never golfed that all though, too.
Oh no,
I got set up.
I don't think there is anyone that saw that. You've ever had a golf career. At some point, you're like, Temp played high school golf. He's just, maybe not in the shape he wants. So no, I knew that you had never touched a golf club. That was obvious.
That was bad. It was funny though.
No, but that had to be a lot of fun. What's it like? If you're a viewer and stuff, you see these guys talk trash. You see them compete against each other, but you don't always know that a lot of them are good friends and hang out all the time. Like, is that one of the best parts, kind of, about it being a competitor, being able to go out with the guys and just have a time like that?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm cool. Like, I may talk trash. I probably talk trash the most out of any pro.
You're up there.
But I'm probably friends with everyone. Like, there's not like one person on the team that I hate. I just talk trash. It makes the game more fun.
I love it.
But,
keep doing it, please. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm friends with everyone. It's really fun hanging out with everyone. And yeah, I've known these guys for years. They're actual friends.
That's great. Slack, you must have just been in fits watching that. Like,
yeah,
I feel
I mean, I don't golf much. I don't.
So that's actually not that bad.
I've done it like once or twice, maybe 3 times, but going there, watching that was hilarious. I mean, that was a lot of fun seeing people who've never played.
Well, I haven't probably played in like 2 years, but I was at a point in my life, like after college, where I probably played like once or twice a week for a long time, and I wasn't good, but I got decent enough that almost made me vomit. That was hard to look at. But no, that was a lot of fun. All right, last thing, actually for Temp then. I want to hear about, this is a little less funny and more, I'm just curious how this like makes you feel. So we talked about Clay's tweets and how silly kind of felt after that. Slasher had a tweet after you guys lost it. All right, so he said, absolutely pathetic that I haven't won an event in the past year. And I get that. He has been one of the best players for this year, but like, how's that feel, I guess, as a teammate? Like, that's got to be kind of, I know Austin's drive. He really wants to win, and I feel like he's obviously really upset with how our team is playing, but he has a lot of built up stress from last year too. Like, they were getting top 24. They choked 2 best of 5s 2 events in a row. Like, he's just stressed out, and those 2 events they got second, he performed really, really well. He's been performing really, really well with us too. So I mean, he's performing so well and not winning, he's going to get upset. I think I saw you quote tweeted it, and I believe you said, like, hey, I'm helping this man get a win or something.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like at Dallas, I played really, really well. NOLA, we just got 12, so no one played that good. But this event, Austin actually, like, I don't want to say he carried, but he went off. Like, he played really, really good this event. So this time I was like, damn. Actually, like, we actually could have won this.
No, I think you could have won the event.
Yeah,
honestly,
we actually could have won this. So I was like, damn, like, it sucks that I didn't play my best. I still think I played good, but I didn't play as good as I should have, and we made a lot of bad plays. So if we just fix that, I feel like we will win. And if he just keeps performing how he is, good things are going to happen.
I can't imagine him slowing down. I can't remember the last time he had a bad map, like even like an average map. It just seems like he's been dominating. And like I said, as long as you guys are consistent, yeah, I think you're going to get that victory. I just think it's a matter of time.
Bro, I'm hitting the next level.
All right, I'm ready.
With these 2 weeks in Birmingham, now that I know that we can win. Like, at first, like, I've never won before. Obviously, I always think I can win because I'm good, whatever. But after getting 12, I'm just thinking, like, we suck, bro. We're not winning anything, bro. Like, let me start.
Confidence helps a lot, man. Just knowing you can beat top teams is there's
a difference between confidence in yourself and confidence in your team. Yeah, this is a team game. You have to, like, truly believe, like, this guy is good. Like, you have to trust him in certain situations, and I don't think we had that trust, but I think it's getting there now.
All right. Okay. Well, awesome to hear, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys try to do that this year. We got a lot of majors left, a ton of COD. We're not even like. Feels like we're like a quarter of the way into the year, which is what's absurd. All right, Slack, you're up next. I pulled basically a tweet kind of. It wasn't even by Octane. It was just about Octane. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one out loud. Let's take a look at it. Octane has gotten at least top 3 11 times in his career. Out of those 11 times, he has only won 2 times. Feels bad, man.
Right.
So how long have you been teaming with Octane?
I've been teaming with Octane since last event in AW, which was Worlds.
So it's safe to say all of those events are more than likely you've been teaming with him. So for many people, getting top 3 that many times is awesome. But obviously, he was very frustrated. I think he quote tweeted and was like, "Wow, I hope this isn't true because that feels awful." What's first off? What you said the other day? I think you tweeted something like top 3 felt like top 24. Like, can you kind of break that down maybe for viewers at home? Like, why, even though third looks so good, why it still hurts so much as a competitor?
So I've been around for a while now, and I've competed at the top for a while as well. So at all the events I've went to in the past 3 years, I'd say my worst placing every year has probably been like 7th, 8th, and the rest of the years I've been like top 3, top 4, top 6, jumping around there. And these past few events have been rough for us. With New Orleans, I felt like we had that event in the bag. It was just super small mistakes. Then this last event didn't have the best performance out of everyone on the team, which is fine, but we still got up there and got to that point where we could win the event. And I think after just getting there so close in super small mistakes and just choking in finals or choking in winners finals, whatever it is, it just like it tears you down a little bit. It's like, man, like we were so close, we could have done this or we could have done that. And it's annoying to get to that position every single time.
When you think about it, it's like, I don't know the exact definition of dynasty, but for me, we've had 2 sort of. You had the complexity, then you had the OpTic. Like, it's like you're that close to like being that like dynasty team, but you just and well, to be fair, you've had to deal with OpTic at their prime, where they were basically winning every single event. So you've had, I don't know what to compare that to in like basketball or something, but it's like you've had to deal with this reign of terror. So sure, it's going to lead to some second and thirds when there's a team that's been so consistently good for so long. But I guess how do you get past that? What do you think is the way that suddenly you can turn these second and thirds maybe into victories?
Well, the problem now, we have all the pieces on the team. I have faith, like Donnie was saying, in every single one of my teammates. I trust that they're going to perform in all situations, but sometimes it just comes down to teamwork and clutching up, and it's just the small things that cost you from having a championship, and that's what happened. I feel like at the last event, if things would have went our way and we would have done some different things, we probably would have found ourselves in the finals.
Sometimes when you have 2 teams that are that equal, maybe facing off, sometimes you just need a little bit of luck too, honestly.
100%.
All right, well, let's keep moving on. The next segment is going to be the community questions. So these are basically questions that came to you guys. Slacked, I'm assuming we're not going to have any for you because at the time we thought Nameless was going to be on the show. But let's take a look here at the first one for Silly. I feel like Silly hates every city he visits outside of Las Vegas. Is there a city he actually likes?
There is a lot of cities I like, but living in Vegas, I can get food 24 hours a day. There's always something to do, and I hate being trapped in my hotel room, at like 8, 9 o'clock, nothing to do, sitting in there all night because I'm more of a night owl than a morning person.
Well, I've run into that a little bit too since I've lived in Manhattan the past couple of years. Anything that I want at any time at any hour is basically possible.
Yeah.
And then I get here to Columbus and I'm like trying to order Seamless at 9 or 10 o'clock at night and there's just literally nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel.
I could agree with that sentiment.
Yeah.
Granted, well, is that the biggest thing? Is that the only issue for you when it comes to why you don't like other cities?
Well, for example, while I was in New Orleans, I didn't like it that much. One of my friends also got kidnapped a little bit while we were there. That's beside the fact.
What?
Yeah, leave that one. But in Atlanta, I'm sitting here waiting 30 minutes for an Uber. That's 3 minutes away the whole time. I went to the mall, got stuck in traffic for an hour and a half. I don't know. I'm just a really big fan of my hometown.
Okay, all right. Well, I want to hear from the other guys. Temp, for you, favorite cities in the United States of America?
My favorite city in the United States of America, other than the city I live in, because I like where I live.
Well, you could
Snellville.
you could do cities.
Snellville, Georgia.
Anywhere too. Okay.
I like Virginia Beach.
All right. Why? I would go there as a kid.
I was born in Virginia. My
Okay.
dad lived in Virginia. I don't visit him anymore, but I used to visit him every summer. And it was just like, I don't know. I just really liked it.
Fond memories from childhood.
Yeah, it's a really nice place.
That makes sense. And what city were you in Georgia again?
Snellville.
Is that near? Okay, I don't know anything. I don't even know why I asked because I don't know where.
Yeah, it's like 30, 40 minutes away from Atlanta.
Okay, I lived in Alpharetta for a little while.
Yeah,
That's
not close.
Okay, I just know that's somewhere near Atlanta. Yeah. That's all I know. Slack, for you, favorite cities?
I actually like my hometown a lot. I love Kansas City. It's like people don't really know about it. People are like, "Oh, you live in Kansas City? Where you live? Like the farm or something?" People don't know where I am.
That's how I picture Kansas City.
Yeah, that's how everyone looks at it.
City of farms.
100%. So it's like I like it there. It's like low key, but it's also it's got life to it. So I don't know. I like.
What about outside the hometown? Like a place you travel that you really like?
I like everywhere in California. Honestly, I don't get to go there too often. So when I do go there, it's always a good time.
Oh yeah, I've been I'm like almost jaded when it comes to like sort of what you were saying, because I lived in Santa Monica for 3 years and then Manhattan for 2. So it's just like it's almost hard to imagine living anywhere else, because it's like, oh, I either get 70 degrees and sunshine every single day, or I have the greatest city on earth with everything I need wherever I go next. I think it'll be hard to compare. You've been in those 2 cities. But all right, let's get to our next question. Temp, this one is for you. Hashtag MLG Hot Mic at Donnie Temp. What do you be so tense about after y'all win a match? So I'm guessing this is when our production team puts the camera on you after a W. This is
first of all, I don't ever do that at an event. I wasn't doing that at Atlanta. These LAN League matches, like, we know we're gonna make top 4, right? If we beat a team and is really sloppy, we're gonna try to correct the mistakes. It doesn't matter that we win or not. Like, we need to correct our mistakes and keep getting better. Like, we're going to get happy over a win. Like, we know we're going to get top 4.
Well, and it's a little bit different in the sense that, you know, after you win a match here, you're usually done. So you can sit there and argue through things, whereas at a tournament, you don't want to do that when you might have a match.
We have another match. Like, we're done for the day. Maybe they told me to wait until we're off stage. All right, I'll start doing that. But I'm not going to be happy after a win every single time if it's not, like, especially, like, say we beat Epsilon, right, and we're struggling. You want me to, like, get up and fist bump, smile at my teammates, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're supposed
that makes sense.
We're supposed to dominate those type of teams. So if we're trying to get to that level, the moment is fresh right there. Like, I can probably still pinpoint every single mistake right away without watching the VOD. If I let it get later, I might forget something. Like,
it's interesting.
I forget my point.
Okay, I wouldn't mind hearing from the other guys. Like, how do you guys kind of feel after a loss? After a win, sometimes if it's a little bit sloppy, how do you guys handle it?
Oh, 100%. You want to hit it right then when it happens, because that's when you know your team is going to remember. You're going to be like,
especially in a series, you know you're going to win.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like he was saying, these LAN League matches, yes, they're important. Yes, you want to qualify for playoffs, but at the same time, you got to look at it as practice. What can you improve on, and how can you get better to be at that top level? So it's like, right when it happens, you want to talk about it, tell your teammate what to do better, then go on from there.
Okay. All right. Silly. Anything different? Because I know sometimes I've heard, specifically Arcities and Clay, at times after a match. Well, those were usually losses, though, that they kind of would get into it.
Definitely, we don't ever do it on stage, but after win, you know, if it's like a match we should be winning by a bigger margin, we always point out what somebody did wrong. You know, you don't want them to keep doing the same thing wrong in another match. So right there, when you know exactly what it was, you've got to point it out, because the next day I'm not going to remember, most likely. So
okay, all right. So deal with it right then. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to improve, and you're in an atmosphere where you can sort of slow it down and even bump heads if you need to, because you have a little bit of a break, and then you call your friends again. All right, let's go to our next question. I believe this one was directed at Nameless, but I think anyone can kind of answer this. So, it's for Temp too. So for Nameless and Temp, how is it you guys consistently pace yourselves to be with your team together? I remember. So I think this question might come down to the last Hot Mic. I can't remember if it was Looney or who I was talking to. It says one of the most difficult things for a team at times is pacing. Like, you know, if you have a TJ Halo and your team flying around, how do you keep that pace with them from a speed perspective? I don't know if you guys can just speak a little bit to kind of pacing issues with teams. Is that something you ever struggle with?
I don't know.
I don't think it's a pacing issue as much of like a role issue. Like,
okay,
I think with eUnited, it's not. I think Preston plays at a pretty good speed, but they don't have a player that's going to just all of a sudden become a slow AR to a fast sub. That's just not going to happen.
So it's a pacing issue created by a role issue.
Yes, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a mix of both. I mean, you know, especially in like hard points and stuff like that, when you're at different paces, you're really like pushing staggered. You know, you have 2 people dead, your other teammates like push the hill. You really have to like regroup and talk about it mid-game and be like, all right, like everybody wait for each other, you know, get in the hill. And when you have those pacing issues, one player is always dead by the time you want a team push.
Well, sometimes like we'll say that while we commentate sometimes. Like, let's say there's 20, 30 seconds at a hard point. I'll say like, hey, they have like one real 4-man push left.
Yeah.
And then you'll see it get staggered right away. I'm like, well, that's it then.
Yeah.
Like someone will get picked early, and then you're screwed.
Basically, you just gotta tell your teammate to stay alive for a second. Like, live. Like, don't split. That's what it is. Pacing is split pushing.
Yes.
That's literally what it is. Okay. So, like, you don't want your teammate, like, say you guys push, right, and you guys all die, but one guy stays alive. You don't want him to die, because then you have to wait for him. So then it's just a constant cycle. Then you have to, your 3 teammates who just died spawn up, go to the hill, then they have to wait for the guy that was lacking, then you have another push, but that's just wasting time at that point.
Yeah, because it's rare. I mean, typically, typically a break comes in that 4-on-4. It's not usually like a 2-on-4 or 3-on-4 push, which, I mean, granted, those are the moments that can change games.
Oh, yeah.
That, when you have two players that somehow bust through and kill all
You don't want to like, oh, let's
rely on
send
that.
people here so they can get a 4-piece.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, well, I appreciate you guys kind of breaking that down. But I do want to take a look. I mean, we love Hot Mic. It's a blast, but you guys are obviously here for the Pro League matches. So let's take a look at the matches that we are going to have today for Division B. It's the final 2 weeks. We're trying to lock down our 4 teams, see who's going to be in the playoff against, you have what? Rise Nation, OpTic Gaming, Red Reserve, and Team Caliber from Division A. Some great matches coming up today. But before we get to that, we do have our last stand question. So this is one where I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on it. So for last stand, the final question, I want to know who is currently the best 18-year-old Call of Duty player.
18?
So we've got what?
18.
Temp, TJ, Hook, Kenny, Farrow. You're still 18, right?
Yeah,
19.
I'm 18.
Okay, so who am I missing? Anyone? Because I just jotted down some Temp, TJ, Hook, Kenny, Farrow.
Delete Pharaoh from that whole
Right.
He's nowhere near as talented as all.
For right now,
I actually put him on there because I knew someone would say that.
yeah.
I'm sorry, he just is not.
I'm sorry, no, Farrow. He has been playing really well in Search.
He has,
Let me do my ranking.
Okay, yeah, please.
All right. We might have to put TJ at number 1 just because he just won.
Yeah, I get that.
But if he didn't win, I'd be 1 and
All right.
he'd be 2. Then 3 would be Kenny and then probably Kyler right now.
Hook. Okay.
But overall, Kyler's better than all of us.
Well, once
He's better than all of us at video games.
once Hook goes, so
Yeah.
the longer Hook plays this game. Well,
Oh,
that's the reason that I figured you guys would struggle a little bit earlier in the game, but once he started to figure things out, you guys were going to dominate. Like, the kid's proven he's a freak of nature. Like, once he gets rolling, it'll be interesting to see how far you guys can push it. That's why I have so much faith in your guys' team, because there's just so much raw talent there. It's absurd.
Yeah.
Silly, who do you think the best 18-year-old Call of Duty gamer?
Honestly, I gotta go with Kenny. I think Kenny individually is probably the best, and then TJ, and then probably Donnie, and then Hugh fourth. But I know Hugh is super good at Call of Duty, super good at every game. I've played him in AW as well, and he's really good.
Is there anyone that I missed?
Kenny has never beat me on LAN ever,
There's not any other top 18-year-olds I missed, right?
so he can't be better than me.
Kenny's never beat you on LAN?
No.
Okay.
And going into our series, I was 9-0 in map count versus him. He finally won a map,
All right.
and he's my son.
Well, a lot of those back
So
from
he's-
AW?
Yeah.
Okay.
He can't be better than me.
All right. All right.
Possible.
Slack, what do you think? Who's the top player?
Talent-wise, I think you go Temp, TJ, Kyler, Kenny.
Big facts. Look, right here.
I don't know. I've played against all of them for a little bit now, and I think Donnie's. I don't know. I think we're even in series count now, like on LAN, but he definitely is probably the most talented. Then you got I teamed with TJ before. He's a really good player. He's good right now. Kenny and Kyler are both good. I think Kyler's starting to turn into form though and getting a lot better.
Well, I'm excited about it because obviously, you have to think about the day when your personalities, like your Akes, your Crims, those guys that have been here for so long are finally gone. It's like, who's that next wave of top players, top personalities? And we've got just a ton of talent when you look at like young players. So it's really exciting for the future of the Call of Duty World League. But guys, that's gonna do it for our show. Thank you, Slack, Temp, Silly, for coming on. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. We had our smaller desk here today, so we had one less guest, but it was a lot of fun. And Nameless, for your travel issues and not showing up, screw you. EG will never place in the top 4. That's not even a stretch, though. No, it's been a lot of fun. Hot Mic is a blast, guys. Now enjoy the matches in Division B. We'll see you next week.